It's a great delight to have you again. This is The Agenda. My name is Abiodun Famujuro. Welcome. On this episode today, we shall be looking at the subject of getting involved. Getting involved with regards to the agenda, we're talking about the subject of participation in politics, participation in governance as a citizen, engagement with those who will run the office of various stratas within the society. I am joined today by Honorable Israel Fagbemigun. It is great to have you once again, Honorable Israel. You've been on this platform before, and we are greatly delighted that you're here once again. Getting involved. It's good to have you. Getting involved. What is the first thing? Allow me to ask you this question. What is the first thing that you must know before going into politics?
You must know that politics is about building society. You must have the mind to serve. You must have the mind to be selfless. You must have both the good head and the good heart. Because everybody in politics is a potential governor. Everybody in politics is a potential president. And to serve well in government, there are two fundamental things you need. You need both a good head and a good heart. When you have a good heart, you have the wish of the people as your priority. You can feel the pains of the people. You can feel their pulse. You have seen the sufferings of the people. You want to make things get better for them. But that is at that level. The other level you need to make good change is a good head. When you have a good head, that means you know what to do and what to do to make the things better. That means you have the right connect. You know what buttons to press. You know what policies to bring into governance that will make the life of the people better. So if you have a good head and you don't have a good heart, all you go to the government to do is to use your numbers to go and steal money and get money, get the resources of people, just like many people have done in government, whose names I would not like to mention, because what most of them have done is to go there and turn government resources to pass for personal use. Those are people who have good heads, but they don't have good hearts.
Honorable
when
Israel.
You have a good heart,
Honorable Israel.
You don't have a good head.
Honorable Israel. What happens to the individual that does not have a good head, does not have a good heart, is in politics? What do we do about such an individual? He does not have a good head, does not have a good heart, but he's in politics and wants to rule or lead.
If a person has no good head but has a good heart, did I get you right?
The person does not have either the good head, does not have a good heart. He does not know, she does not know, she is not willing to make a difference. All the person is saying is, I want to get to that position so that you can give me this title, call me by this title. I want to command influence where I have none. I want to eat because I feel I am due next in line to eat.
Well, that person is a societal disaster. He has no business. As a matter of fact, if we are in a place where it is allowed, I would say such persons should be incarcerated forever.
Okay, I am glad we're not in a place where we can make such comments. But we're talking about getting involved. You've said that the foundational requisition is a good head and a good heart. You've described whoever does not have either as a societal disaster. There are persons who have a good head, who have a good heart, but they do not have access into the corridors of politics and governance. How do they get involved?
Okay. Now, the truth is, joining politics is like joining the military.
Joining politics is like joining the military.
It's like joining the military.
Explain.
If you have the good head and you have the good heart, and you join from the wrong end, you are also going to end up frustrated at the long run, because you will end up getting worked out along the ladder. Now, what I mean by that is this. If you join the military as a degree holder, you start from a second lieutenant. And within 20 years, if nothing, all things being equal, you are likely to become a general. But if you join the military with your school cert, the highest you can ever be is a warrant officer. I'm sure you know that there's a difference between the two when it comes to what impact you can make in the military.
A world of
and
difference.
in the society.
A world of difference.
And that is what makes difference. So what I would advise an average Nigerian youth to do is to equip themselves enough before they go into politics. Because it is what you are outside politics. There is room for everybody in politics. There are people who their assignment is to paste posters and they will never stop, they will never get promoted from pasting posters until they are too old to paste posters. It's not a curse. It is just the reality of what they are. What they are. Take for instance, if you are a farmer and even your farming is even subsistent, you only farm for your family to eat, and you go and join a party at the world level, even if the party is at the ruling end, it will take a miracle for them to shortlist you when it is time to shortlist members, a candidate for the party at the House of Assembly. Because it is what you have that you take into politics. And it is what you take into politics that you contribute in politics. And it is your contribution many a times that decides at what level you are absorbed.
Honorable Israel, so is it correct if I say to you that getting involved has to do with capacity? No one can function beyond the level of their capacity. A degree holder obtained capacity to go to school, whether by scholarship or by sponsorship or whatever means. The person who could not go beyond SSC, it was based on capacity, whether financial, societal, emotional. So capacity is involved when you want to get involved, correct?
Very correct.
I'd like to ask you a question about steps, basic steps that need to be taken with regards to successful registration or integration into a political party. Registration of a political party and integration into a political party. So let us focus on the integration into a political party. What are the basic steps for the integration of someone who wants to get involved? Young people want to get involved. And they say, you know what, I want to be integrated into a political party for the long haul. I have capacity. What are the basic steps required?
For a young person who has capacity to be integrated, I'm going to say this, it may sound unusual, but the easiest way and the best way to enter is to cause a disruption in the system.
The easiest way and the best way is to cause a disruption in the system. How does the individual cause a disruption? How do young people cause disruption in an established political party?
Okay, let me start from my own personal experience. I joined practical politics in the days of Tim Ribadu, when the then former AFC chairman wanted to be president, and some of us were put together. I was state secretary of Tim Ribadu in Ondo State then, interim state secretary. As young as I was, I think I was in part 2 or something. I can't remember exactly. I caused a disruption in the system in my own political unit, and that was what gave me the recognition that I got in that unit until now.
What did you do?
There's no how they call their meetings and they don't get me involved.
What did you do?
How did I cause this disruption?
Yes, please.
I know where the vote manipulations happen. I know how they happen. But I used to be a gentleman who only retired from campus to my father's gate. But because I had the interest to protect, not because I was fighting for the battle, but because I wanted to make my statement, I stood my ground in that election. Though I didn't have more than my own single vote, but I made it very unusual, very uneasy for them to do the normal thing that they do, to do it the normal way during the election. And that was why they were able to notice me. The other way I caused a disruption was that I had an opportunity to speak after a political head in a particular forum, public forum, particularly in FUTA, Federal University of Technology in Akure. And after he has spoken, ordinarily by protocol, he is supposed to be the one to speak last. But it was just by maybe, let me say, divine arrangement that day I came. and I was able to listen to all that he said. So while he was talking, I was jotting it, and I brought to bear my knowledge in socialism and practical governance. So I was able to pick a lot of holes, and respectfully, I punctured his arguments from number 1 to 10. And after that event, he invited me for a meeting, and that was the beginning of the short story of why I'm where I am today. So why I would say that young people should try to cause disruption is because if you go to the usual length and go through your unit like the gentle, very, very obedient members, you are not likely to be singled out very early enough. But if you cause a disruption, if the chairman of the ward, if they call a ward meeting and the chairman of the ward says something that is not appropriate, and you respectfully correcting that, okay, Baba, what you have just said for this and these reasons, you show superior argument. Yes, you will be shut down because it will look like an affront to the power that be. But of course, those who know that you did the right thing will come back and meet you later and say, that guy is a good instrument. To them, they think they are using you. But in actual fact, you are using them to gain their appropriate recognition. And that was what happened to me.
So, Honorable Israel, you will not recommend, in your words, that anyone joining a political party, anyone getting involved in the system, should start from the bottom of the ladder. Rather, they should cause disruption.
I didn't say anyone. You see, for the vulgarizer, for the apprentice, for the farmer, for the artisan, yes, that's the appropriate way to go. But you said for somebody who has capacity.
Capacity, yes.
The capacity cannot be conspicuous at the unit level. The capacity will only be conspicuous starting from your ward to your local government level and the state level. That is when those who are supposed to see you will see you. Because the truth is, our democracy is such that power is built around the government. You know, in the days of Awolowo and the First and Second Republic, power was then built from the beginning, from the bottom top. But now, power comes from the top now. Because, of course, the governor is the financier of his party at the state level. So it is what he wants that will happen. So you need to make yourself conspicuous enough to those who decide who takes what before your interest can be protected. What is it about interest? So the usual way for an average graduate, take for instance, if a university graduate and you know the stuff you carry, if you go to the unit level and go and register with the apprentice, there is no time when they will ever recognize you beyond the level of those who are there at the unit level. But you need to, if you cause a major disruption along the line, they will know that somebody somewhere has capacity to do some things
and because you are there, and because
the truth is this: the man who is against you in politics is not against you because he doesn't know the character, the kind of capacity you carry.
Okay.
He's against you because what you are doing at present is against his interest. The moment you do that thing in his interest, you become his God. You become his friend.
Very true.
That's no permanent enemy. There's neither is a permanent friend.
Honorable Israel Fagbemigun.
Honorable
Israel, we will take a short commercial break, and when we are back, we will continue by asking a very important question. What are the attitudes that should be adopted in politics for someone that wants to get involved, be relevant, and make a definite impact? Whatever you do, do not go away. We shall be back in a few minutes. It is still the agenda. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us once again. It is still the agenda. And I am here with Honorable Israel Fagbemigun. And we are looking at the subject of getting involved. Honorable, before we went on a short commercial break, I asked you about the attitudinal disposition of getting involved in politics. What should be the attitude of a young person that wants to get involved in the world of politics? What are your recommendations and your counsel?
Well, number one is that if you are a young person and you want to go into politics, you must first of all define what you want to go there to go and get.
Definition of what you want to go and get, Honorable?
Yes.
What you please expatiate, because I'm tempted to ask you, why should it be what I want to go and get and not what I intend to offer?
Thank you. You see, what you get in politics is synonymous to what you can offer. What I mean is that if you are a floor member of a political party, the best you will be is a supporter of your party at market square discussions. But if you get into government, and take for instance, say you are appointed as a commissioner, then you know exactly what to do about it. You know exactly what to do. Let me take the example of a former governor, for instance. The former governor is from Ondo State. I don't know if I can mention his name on this program.
No, don't mention it. Just continue.
Okay. When he was in university was when he joined politics. But he knew he wanted to be governor from day one. He was appointed commissioner 3 times. He became secretary to the state government. He was appointed minister, but he had to resign under the authoritarian government disguised as democracy of one of our former presidents. When resignation was tantamount to losing your life and your entire family, he resigned and dared the power to come back to Ondo State to come and contest, and he won. And so when he got to power and he was getting the stone rolling from day one, it was like he was doing magic. But the secret behind that magic was because that template that he had, he prepared it decades before that time. So all he needed to do was to start rolling out the actions when he got to government, because he had been in government, he had grown through the ranks in government, so he knew what to do at what time to make the best of impact on the most vulnerable in the society. So as a young person, define what you want to go and do in politics. Today, he's not one of the richest former governors, but he's arguably one of the most celebrated former governors in Ondo State. If not the most. Even those who were before him acknowledged him. The incumbent is still acknowledging him, even despite being in the opposition.
Because he left a legacy.
Because he left a legacy that is still haunting the person that is there. Because the incumbent cannot preserve those legacies. So everybody is asking him, where is social program? Where is social program? Because the people already owned those programs before he left government. So when the incumbent could not run those programs again, it became a problem for them. So that's why I'm saying you must first of all define what you want. It looks like it's an ambitious way of starting, but that's the best way to start. Because if you define what you want, politics is like a football game. If you want to be a coach at the long run and you start from the secondary school team, if you have your first training or your first football match appearance and you had an injury, we call it monkey yash. You carry small bruises on your distance. Nobody will bring first aid to you. You have to go and look for a way to sort it yourself, because you are not at the line at that time. You have to go and learn how to use hot water
and take care of yourself.
And take care of yourself at that time.
All
because you know that you want to be a coach.
If you were to speak to Nigeria as a whole, in 1 minute, what will you tell the young people of this nation about getting involved?
Okay. Can I go ahead and say now?
Please go ahead, right now. The platform is yours.
Number one is that you must see politics as something that is a necessity and not an option.
Politics as a necessity, not an option?
It's not an option, it's a necessity.
Okay.
Because whether or not you join politics, whatever politics, the only way to get to government now
is through
in
politics.
Nigeria, the only way to get to government now in Nigeria is through politics. And whether you like government, you like the governor, you like the president, you like his faith, you don't like his faith. If every policy he does either positively or negatively affects your daily life. Now there's inflation, everybody's crying. Everybody's cursing him, everybody's cursing Mr. A, everybody's trading blame. But if you ask them, they will say politics is a dirty game. I can't go into it. So you must understand that politics is a necessity and not an option. Now, if you want to go into active politics, you must define what you want from day one. Define what you want and never allow anything under the earth to discourage you, under the sun to discourage you, I mean. Because once you get discouraged, you have lost.
You have lost.
In our days in university, you say, if we struggle, we may win. But if we don't struggle, we have already lost. So you don't expect that because a lot of people will slap you, they will abuse you. You must understand that you are going into politics to go and meet all kinds of human beings. All kinds of human beings.
And you must get ready. You must be prepared.
Both the politically stable, the unstable, all kinds of character. So you must get ready to be able to be able to move and navigate yourself within those characters and get to where you want to get to, because it is at that point where you want to get to that you can make the substantive change that is in your agenda. So you must write down your agenda from day one. Because
you must write your agenda from day one. Honorable Israel Fagbemigun, it is time for us to let you go at this juncture. I believe that you've spoken to the hearts of millions. This has been the agenda, and we have been talking with Honorable Israel Fagbemigun on the subject matter of getting involved. He has spoken prolifically, but please note something. He said politics is a necessity. It is not an option. If you sit on the sidelines or you sit in the stands, you will not play in the match. You will not be a substitute. You will not be replaced because you were never in contention to begin with. This nation is calling on all the young people that can freely talk but will not let words and actions align. Your words and your actions must align. Enough of talk. Politics is a direction into governance, into leadership within the sphere of the three arms of government. What difference are you making? For those whose generations have gone ahead, encourage the young people, give them a platform, allow them to express themselves. Wherever you are joining us, watching this broadcast, please note that our social media handles are displayed on the screen for you to join us, to engage us, and to respond. This is the agenda, and my name is Abiodun Famujuro. Till I come your way next time, believe in the nation, Nigeria, and make your voice and your actions to count. See you soon.